Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Nothing to See Here podcast. Hi, it's Frankie.
It's Hannah.
Frankie,
What?
do you have something you would like to say?
All right. Let's get this over with so we can talk about Rob Roy. Last night I went to Amanda's house,
As he does.
as I do on Saturdays. And we watched a show called The Boss is Watching,
Yes, you're correct.
where they have the bosses of the fucking labels for the K-pop groups. And they competed in events, and there was a best female group. And was there a best female and best male, or just best overall?
Just best overall, and I
Best
think
overall.
Sanamu won, and Frankie
Who
was
cares
like,
who won it?
what the fuck? Yeah.
They came out of nowhere and won. They didn't win any of the events that they showed us that were televised. So like I don't know how the fuck they won, but whatever.
Yeah.
Isn't there like an American version of that show where like the owners of stores go and they watch?
That's
as
Undercover Boss. That's a different
This is
show.
way different.
They just watch their underpaid, overworked employees like struggle all day.
Yeah, that's Undercover Boss.
No, because the boss just watches like from a different room. They're not.
Oh,
they're not.
That's not what happened here either.
That's not. Yeah, that's not what happened here. Like the bosses like create. It was like, what are the top 5 qualities to be an idol? And it was like endurance and luck and knowledge and whatever. And they had a game show
like
where the different groups competed.
You know, what I'm thinking of is just a rich person watching.
Are you just thinking of like Mystery Diners or whatever? What I don't know what show you're thinking of.
Thinking Gordon Ramsay. I don't know.
There's a show. There were 2 shows on the Food Network. The one I cannot remember what it was called, but it was hosted by this big Italian man named Willie D. Who was like, I'm a restaurant expert, and they would set up cameras in the like a few cameras in the restaurant, and the owners of the restaurant would just watch the employees, and then Willie D would come out and yell at them when they did something bad. And
that's
then
not Bar Rescue, is it?
No, Bar Rescue is more like Kitchen Nightmares.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just blending that and Kitchen Nightmares and Undercover Boss together into some weird show that someone out there is going to steal from me now.
Food Network also had a show called Mystery Diners. I would highly recommend anyone to watch the Ralph Seppi Jr. video of Mystery Diners, where he describes what happens on that show. But that show was the most boring version of what Hannah is attempting to describe, but it was fucking great. Anyway, we watched the show. The first challenge was endurance. They had to wrestle each other in a tournament. And when it was the men's group wrestling each other, it was the finals was Jungkook from BTS versus S-Coups from 17. S-Coups, who I have notoriously called lame, and says he gives off loser energy. No, I haven't said loser energy. He's not a loser. He just gives off lame energy. Well, no, he did not lose this, and I had said if he wins, I would say on the podcast, on recording, that S-Coups is cool. So, let me say the sentence. S-Coups is cool.
I'm right.
Now, I've said it, and I will not take it back this episode.
Next week,
that's my vow. But if I see something in the interim week, well, I won't, because the only time I see anything with S-Coups is when I go to Amanda's house, and I'm not going this weekend. So so we'll get 2 weeks of this statement being my prevailing thought about S-Coups. At minimum, 2 weeks.
You have to admit that you were a little impressed that he defeated Jungkook. You even have Jungkook in your wallet.
I was impressed that he won the wrestling tournament. Yes, you're right. That was impressive.
I'm sorry. My dogs decided they need to run around and be crazy right now.
We can't
That's fine. Yeah, I can't hear them.
I think you can hear them, but we can't. Anyway, so Frankie,
I'm surprised because my little symbol is lighting up that my mic is picking it up.
I don't hear anything. So Frankie believes that S Coops is cool.
Yes.
That is a thought that he fully believes right now, as of this recording.
Let's have him do the Vanity Fair lie detector test.
Let's not.
I think it's Vanity Fair who does
that. Also, Frankie, you met babies.
I met the foster kittens that we talked about last week. Yeah.
Yeah. They did not hang around.
I've still only seen the one.
I got to hold all 3 of them though.
He did,
so.
Yes.
Jealous.
Jet did not want to be held.
Jet's a little adventurer, but the other 2 were very calm.
Yeah, they were pretty chill. But yeah, so and Frankie actually really liked The Boss is Watching.
It was a fun show.
They did one, like, it was only a special, so it was like a one-off thing. But yeah, it was enjoyable. I liked it. This was filmed in 2016, which is almost 10 years now. That's crazy to me.
That is a while ago. Damn.
Anyway, so Rob Roy?
Yeah, this week. So last week we talked about Rob Roy, the what's the fucking movie called?
Rob Roy, the Highland Rogue.
I'll never remember the name of that movie. We talked about Rob Roy, the Highland Rogue, and because we spent the entire month in Scotland, the month of episodes in Scotland, starting with Scooby-Doo and the Loch Ness Monster, I thought, let's stay in Scotland and just talk about Rob Roy because he was real. And let's talk about the details that the movie got right and the details that the movie got wrong and who Rob Roy actually was.
Yes.
Rob Roy, whose real name is just Rob MacGregor.
Yeah, where'd the Roy come from?
So the Roy comes from the fact that he was born he had red hair. Mm-hmm. And his nickname was the Gaelic word for red, which I have no idea how to pronounce. And I forgot to write it down. That was then anglicized to Rob Roy.
Mm-hmm.
So he became Rob Roy MacGregor. He was a Scottish outlaw and folk hero, seen as a hero of the common man who stood up against the landowners who had often been given the title to their lands in recognition of their assistance to monarchs who lived in London. He was born in the Kingdom of Scotland at Glengyle at the head of Loch Katrine on March 7th, 1671, to the local Clan MacGregor tacksman Donald Glass MacGregor, and they did get this part right, Margaret Campbell. So someone from the Campbell clan was his mother.
All right.
We got a fact right.
One fact.
So far.
I feel like it's all going downhill from here.
Now,
the way you're saying this.
I feel like he didn't even fight in a war.
He did. He did fight in wars.
Okay.
I will paint the picture for people who are who don't know the story,
which is us. We watched the movie
of where Rob Roy is at this point in time in English history. So Rob Roy, like I said, born in 1671. He was born during near the end of the reign. He had 17 years left. Oh no, he hadn't taken the throne yet. What am I saying? James II of England, and also James VII in Scotland, is going to become king in 1685. He's Scottish and King of England. He's got a lot of support in Scotland by the Jacobites. He's going to be deposed in 1688 during the Glorious Revolution.
Oh, the Revolution, that's why.
Yeah, he's going to be replaced by his daughter Mary II and William of Orange.
Orange?
Yes. Mary's Dutch husband. James becomes king in 1685 despite being a Catholic, because he had a lot of support from the Protestant majorities in England and Scotland and the Catholic population of Ireland.
Mm-hmm.
However, his policies quickly eroded support.
Of course.
And by June of 1688, there is a lot of active but unarmed resistance. Then, James has a son, James Francis Edward Stuart, and the fear of a Catholic dynasty ascending to the throne is too much. So the Protestants issue the invitation to William of Orange to be like, hey, we need your support and Dutch support to get rid of James. Please, get rid of him.
Even though he was like rightful heir to the crown, it sounds like.
Well, they did not want his son taking over, because his son they saw his son as being a continuation of his policies. His daughter, Mary II, who was married to William of Orange, who was a Protestant, they were like, hey, look, Mary II is technically in the bloodline.
Mm-hmm.
And her husband isn't Catholic, so
this is a great idea, guys.
We can do it. And that is what they do. So, but the Scottish support James because he's one of them. And they like having a Scotsman on the throne. I will say, a lot of the timeline in the movie that we see is off.
Yeah.
Because they have him against Henry.
George? Oh, I thought it was against George.
Oh, it is. They have him against George.
I was going to say, it's George the First he's up against.
It's George. I don't know why I said Henry. It is George the First he's up against in the film. Whereas, realistically, I don't...
George the First isn't for a while.
Mm-hmm.
George the First is not for a good while. George the First does become involved in the story, but it seems like William is the one that who sets all of this off, not George the First, like the movie would tell us. In January of 1693, he gets married to his cousin, Mary MacGregor of Comar.
Don't marry your cousin.
Is this Helen Mary? Is this the Helen Mary?
I guess so. They don't call her Helen Mary. They just call her, everywhere I found, it's just Mary MacGregor. So she didn't have to change her last name.
That's nice.
But when she got married...
No.
Frankie,
not nice.
I mean, it's nice that she didn't have to change her name, but I would have preferred changing my name over marrying a cousin.
Yes. Well, to be fair, you could just be like Taylor Lautner did and find a woman also named Taylor Lautner, and she doesn't have to change her last name either. So they get married in January of 1693. They will have 4 sons.
Oh, Jesus.
Together. James Moore MacGregor, Ranald MacGregor, Cole MacGregor, who died in 1735. There's no information on when he was born.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems to be sometime between 1706 and 1715, because their youngest son was born in 1715, named Robert, also known as Robin Oig or Young Rob MacGregor. There's also some speculation that they adopted a cousin named Duncan and raised him, but there's no hard evidence of that, just speculation. At the age of 18, along with many of the Highland clansmen, Rob Roy MacGregor and his father join the Jacobite Rising of 1689 in an attempt to restore James II to his throne a year after he had been well, months after he'd been deposed. He's actually deposed in November of 1688. This rising starts in March of 1689. It doesn't work.
I didn't think it would.
It
didn't
continues.
Work in the film.
No, well, the one in the film isn't even this one. This is an earlier one. This is the first attempt of many attempts to get the House of Stuart back onto the throne. So in this attempt, it is led by John Graham, the first Viscount Dundee, and Sir Ewan Cameron of Lochal.
Did you say Viscount?
I did. Why?
Viscount.
Viscount.
It's Viscount? Well, don't put an S in there. Don't put an S in there. I'm an American, and I will speak American English.
The American English is wrong.
Watch
True.
Bridgerton. Watch Bridgerton.
I don't watch Bridgerton.
You should. You learn how to pronounce these things.
He's ignoring us.
I know.
They supported the Stuart King, James VII, who had left Britain following the Glorious Revolution, and they declared that he had abdicated the throne. In Scotland, they declared that James had forfeited the Scottish throne, the Convention of Estates. But the Scottish people were like, whoa, he didn't do any of that. So they were successful in the initial battles in this first rising. But Dundee...
Crocodile Dundee?
No.
That's who I'm imagining every time you
John,
say Dundee.
John Graham, first Viscount Dundee, was killed super early on during this rising. So they never really challenged the throne.
Oh.
MacGregor's father was then taken to jail, held on high treason charges for 2 years.
Hold on. Was Rob Roy, was he a clan head?
He was pretty high up in the clan, but he was not in charge of the clan. He would be a captain of the clan during the battles. He would lead them in battle, but he wasn't the head of the clan.
Fucking Disney, fucking lion.
MacGregor's father, like I said, taken to jail, held for 2 years on charges of high treason. And we have another lie exposed. You ready?
Mm-hmm. I'm ready.
MacGregor's mother, Margaret's health would fail during Donald's time in prison, begin to fail, and by the time Donald MacGregor was finally released, his wife had died.
Oh, so she didn't get shot.
No, she died due to ill health. That's better.
Yeah,
that's better.
Yeah, that's better, yeah. That's a lie that I'm okay with.
But she didn't do all of these things in the movie because she was dead. Because at this point, we haven't even met Argyle or the Duke of Montrose. Both of who are in the story. Yeah, they're real. They're involved. Technically in kind of like the same side that they are portrayed as in the movie, but for vastly different reasons.
Oh, okay.
Worse or better reasons?
Worse. Way worse. The Duke of Montrose hates him for a way worse reason than being disloyal to the throne.
Oh.
Please tell me it's something petty.
Yeah.
It's very... Well, it's pretty petty, comparatively speaking. So, like other Scottish clan chiefs during this time, Rob Roy operated what was called an extra-legal watch over the cattle herds of the lowland gentry. By extra-legal watch, I mean he ran a protection racket.
Oh.
Yes, in return for
protection.
What'd you say? No, he was
air quote protection.
Yeah, air quote protection. MacGregor was in charge. Was charging the lowland gentry protection money, and he would Any cattle that were stolen from herds under his watch would be retrieved or paid for in full. He also, though, had complete control over the raiders in Argyll, Stirling, and Perth. So could guarantee that cattle stolen in those areas would be returned because it was his men stealing them.
Oh.
He charged these people about 5% of their annual rent for protection money.
That's a lot.
It's a huge amount of money.
No wonder he had a castle in the movie.
And he would use that money to feed his tenants and his clansmen. And the families. To be fair, he was a respected cattleman because this was a time when cattle raiding and protection rackets such as his were common means of earning a living.
Mm.
And by all accounts, he was good at the job. But he got screwed over.
There's a but. Yeah, I knew there was a but coming.
He's about to be screwed over. MacGregor borrows big time. He's going to borrow a large sum of money to increase his own cattle herd. But his chief herder buys the cattle, sells the cattle, and then disappears with all of the money.
Rough.
MacGregor goes to hunt this guy down, cannot find him, and he returns to find that he has defaulted on his loan, he's been bankrupted and outlawed by his principal creditor.
This is karma.
And who does he owe the most amount of money to?
The Duke.
He owes it to James Graham, the first Duke of Montrose. You were right, Amanda.
Yeah.
This is why the Duke of Montrose hates Rob Roy MacGregor. Because he didn't pay back his debts.
He was late?
That's not a petty reason, though.
I thought it was going to be way more petty. I thought it was going to be because he's handsome.
I thought it was going to be like he flipped off the Duke.
Compared to, what the movie portrays it as being. Where the movie is this guy just loves the new royalty so much that anything against him is evil
and
should be punished. The reason of actually he owed me money is a little weaker. I see why Disney changed it.
Yeah, I mean Disney. You know what? Mad respect to Disney for making the mom kind of a hero a little bit.
She's a fucking badass.
Yeah.
The Duke of Montrose seizes all of Rob Roy MacGregor's lands. Then a letter starts to circulate on Rob Roy's behalf, and widely believed at the time. No one knows if it's true or not, but this helps to build the legend of him fighting for the Scottish people. In the letter, MacGregor alleges that Montrose offered to forgive the debts twice if Rob Roy would perjure testimony to frame the Duke of Argyll for high treason and Jacobitism.
Oh.
The Duke of Argyll was legitimately a supporter of the throne of the new king, William the Orange, and we'll later learn more about that. But the Duke of Montrose did want some of the power that the Duke of Argyll had, and allegedly offered to forgive Rob Roy's debts if Rob Roy would help him frame Argyll as being treasonous.
My question, was Argyll actually the Secretary of State of Scotland?
The Duke of Argyll?
Yeah, him.
John Campbell is his name.
Mm-hmm.
He is the second Duke of Argyll. He was the Commander-in-Chief of Scotland.
But not the Secretary of State.
I guess they changed the name because it's a weird kind of title. He's in charge of the British Army in Scotland.
Commander-in-Chief sounds too American.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. But essentially, yeah, he did have that kind of position in the British monarchy. Rob Roy says that he refused to frame Argyle, and for this he was branded an outlaw, and his wife and family were evicted from their house, and the house was then burned down.
Jesus Christ! I mean, they did show the house burning.
They did.
To the ground, but like they did show it.
MacGregor also claimed that John Murray, the first Duke of Atholl, offered him a full pardon under the same terms to frame Argyle, and that he refused this offer as well. In retaliation, MacGregor would wage a private blood feud against Montrose, and this is mentioned in the movie. He would steal his cows and rob the rents that were owed to Montrose.
Good. Get your cattle stolen.
There is another version that most people don't believe as much, that states that MacGregor's land was sold because of his part in the Jacobite Rising of 1715, and the Duke of Montrose would just simply buy the property in 1720 by purchasing it from the commissioners of inquiry.
That's not
as fun.
Not as fun, but kind of more believable.
Shut up, Hannah.
But let's talk about. Yeah, shut up, Hannah. No one wants to believe things.
Yeah.
We're telling stories here.
You're right. This is folklore.
Yeah. This is fun. Where's your sense of whimsy, Hannah?
Where was your sense of whimsy when I said I wanted to get a degree in folklore?
I supported you.
I did not. I don't know if I did.
Yeah, that one was directed at Amanda.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if I did or if I didn't. I can't remember.
You did not.
So
I'm just being realistic.
By the way, during all of this, the Duke of Argyle is supporting MacGregor in his little battle against Montrose.
I'm sure, because Montrose wants to fuck him up.
Hiding him away, helping him out. Much like the movie suggests that he's done. This brings us to the Jacobite Rising of 1715.
Okay.
So, once again, we're gonna put the House of Stuart on the throne. And we're not doing it James II / 7th. Not him this time.
Okay.
We're bringing in the son. We're bringing in James Edward Stuart. He's coming up.
He's the one that nobody wanted in the first place.
He's the one that was when he was born. Everyone's like, "Oh fuck."
He's the reason this happened.
All the Protestants were like, "Fuck, we can't let this shithead get on the throne."
And then he turned out to be like the funnest king.
Well, he doesn't actually get on the throne. They fail.
Oh, that's right.
And then James Edward Stuart ends up being named the Old Pretender.
Oof.
That's the nickname he gets.
That's a rough nickname, too.
It is. It's not a great nickname to have. No one wants to be called the Old Pretender. Look at that Old Pretender over there.
Yeah.
Pretending he had a right to the throne.
Yeah. Pretending his shit don't stink.
They have the battle. Or they have this rising. It takes longer than... It's more than just a fucking battle. It's the rising of 1715. It is going to last only a year, from 1715 to 1716. The government is going to win. Easily. At this point.
Yeah.
But, during this uprising, Rob Roy raises the MacGregors and guides them to the Jacobite army as it's marching from Perth towards Stirling in November of 1715. They have the Battle of Sheriff Mere, in which a much smaller government army, under the command of the Duke of Argyle, prevents the Jacobites from reaching the lowlands. Rob Roy, who who is friends with the Duke of Argyle because the Duke has been helping him out against Montrose, has his loyalty split between his upbringing and his alliance with the Duke of Argyle, and legend says that he never actually participated in this battle, and is merely an onlooker at the battle because he won't fight against Argyle.
Pussy. I'm sorry.
Wow.
You're not sorry.
I'm not
Damn.
sorry. It's a good thing. It's a good thing he didn't fight. I like Argyle.
This is gonna help Rob Roy out, though, to be fair.
I'm sure.
Because the Rising ends pretty quickly, like I said. Less than a year. 1715 to 1716. MacGregor and his family immediately move to Glen Shira, where they live under the protection of the Duke of Argyle. Now, Argyle, like in the movie, tries to negotiate amnesty and protection for Rob Roy. Doesn't work out. And when MacGregor's allegations about the reasons for him being an outlaw were made public by the Duke of Argyle, it is then believed that Montrose and Athol did this because they were part of a plot by Argyle's enemies in the House of Lords and at the court to take the power that he wielded. The Duke also granted Rob Roy permission to build a house in Glen Shira for the surrendering of his weapons. And the story goes that Argyle only received from Rob Roy a large cache of rusty old weapons that no one had any use for.
Ouch.
And apparently a sporran, which is those who don't know,
yeah, please,
a traditional part of the male Scottish Highland dress. It's a pouch. That's the pocket on the kilt. There's a sporran and a dirk handle, which is a knife, that allegedly belonged to Rob Roy, are currently being displayed at Inverary Castle. So you can see some of his
shit
items. Yeah. Rob Roy allegedly used Glen Shira as a base for cattle raiding against Montrose. Despite repeated demands from Montrose, Argyle still refused to hand MacGregor over or stop him from doing this.
Argyle at this point was just like, you tried to fuck me over. Why would I not want to, fuck you over, you know?
So we do have something else that the movie got right here, as I'm about to tell you. So after the Jacobite Rising in 1715, many of the Jacobites are taken prisoner and convicted of treason, condemned to death. Those who had not yet been executed, though, were freed by the Indemnity Act 1717.
Okay, but they had to change their name.
No, everyone who had not been executed were freed by the Indemnity Act. No name change allowed or required. The Act, however, does specifically say, accepted is all and every person of the name and clan of MacGregor.
Oh.
So that is true. When in the movie, the Duke of Montrose comes in and is like, hey, everyone, you're all pardoned, except for this one family, fuck you.
Fuck you.
See, now that's kind of petty.
That's fantastically petty.
That's the pettiness I need.
Yeah, that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
They are, as I read, that is a quote, accepted is all and every person of the name and clan of MacGregor.
Fuck
They're specifically excluded. Well, fuck you isn't in there. I wish it was.
Fuck you is in there.
It's implied. It's heavily implied.
Yeah, it's an implied fuck you.
They're specifically excluded because of their history of cattle stealing and running protection rackets out in the open.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it got even pettier.
Yeah. That's why they're excluded. Because they're continuing to steal cattle openly.
Well, maybe don't make your cattle so easy to steal. How about that? I wouldn't be tempted if he had non-stealable cattle. That's such a bad excuse, though. Could you imagine that going to court?
Yeah, that'd be a great defense.
That's like somebody saying, "You punch me." Well, don't have a punchable face.
So
I'm gonna use that.
I don't walk into my fist better.
Now I will say, by the time when the story gets it right, by the time of this second Jacobite rising and the Indemnity Act, George I is on the throne.
Okay, so it's been a while.
He has been on the throne for about 3 years. He takes the throne in 1714. And so he is the one who is king near the end of the story of MacGregor. But for a lot of Rob Roy's story, it isn't him. It is William of Orange. And then briefly it is Anne, Queen of England. She's only queen for 5 years.
Why? Did she die?
Well,
yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
That's rough.
And she had no kids.
Also
that's why they went to...
The line died out.
Yeah, that's why they go to George. Because George is her second cousin.
And apparently he's fucking. Not that Anne wasn't fucking.
George the First is fucking?
Well, he can have heirs, right? She wasn't having any heirs.
I mean, he does have heirs, yes. He has George the Second. Everyone's favorite thing of naming their children after themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They loved that back then.
George the Third, I think.
That's true. In 1719, as an outlaw, MacGregor fights in another Jacobite attempt to get the fucking George the First off the throne.
Guys,
the battle,
it's not working.
This time they're backed by Spain. Spain's helping out.
Spain was just here? Like, Spain was bored.
Yeah, they were just like, we don't have anything to do.
Well, they had just gone through the War of Spanish Succession. And during that, they lost some of their possessions. Specifically, they lost Sicily and Sardinia in Italy.
Oof.
And they wanted to try and divert British resources from the Mediterranean so they could
take it back.
Yeah. Well, they had reoccupied Sardinia, but when they landed on Sicily, the Royal Navy destroyed their fleet. So they were like, "Fuck you. We're going to march on London and put James Stewart back on the throne. Yeah, baby, the old pretender is back, and he's got the Spanish with him. Last time, he had the French, didn't work out. Now he's got the Spanish. It's not going to work out, but
he tried.
They tried.
Points for trying.
So this battle is part of what is called the War of Quadruple Alliance.
Okay.
Spain is fighting everybody. Spain is fighting Austria, Great Britain, France, and Savoy during this. It is the Battle of Glenshiel. MacGregor participates. They lose. And two of the Jacobite commanders, Lord George Murray and the 5th Earl of Seaforth, are badly wounded. There are some accounts that Rob Roy himself was wounded in this battle. But the actual text of the account of the battle provides no evidence. It simply states that Seaforth was wounded, and quote, finding himself hard-pressed, Lord Seaforth sent for further support. A reinforcement under Rob Roy went to his aid, but before it reached him, the greater part of his men had given way, and he himself had been severely wounded in the arm. So, Seaforth was wounded. Maybe Rob Roy was. We'll never know. So, they lose the battle. MacGregor is still feuding with Montrose. Still stealing his cattle. Still stealing his rent. He is then forced to surrender in 1722. And he is arrested It was just too much pressure coming from the Duke of Montrose.
Mm-hmm.
The repeated attempts of capture. The movie does get this right, where Rob Roy was captured multiple times and escaped multiple times.
That's funny.
There's no real details about his escapes, but yeah, he had escaped multiple times. The Duke had obtained what are called letters of fire and sword to bring him in. Basically, any means necessary to get this guy arrested.
Mm-hmm.
So all of this pressure finally mounts. He surrenders. He's like, all right, I'm good. I'm done. He gets arrested. This is in 1722. The next year, a book called The Highland Rogue is published.
That's where the title comes from.
It is. The Highland Rogue is published in 1723. It is called The Highland Rogue, or The Memorable Actions of the celebrated Robert MacGregor, commonly called Rob Roy.
Oh, Montrose had to be pissed.
Yeah, imagine that. You finally arrested your enemy,
Mm-hmm.
and someone's like writing a book pointing him out to be a folk hero.
Mm-hmm.
I would be so angered.
Yeah, I'd be livid.
Rob Roy is becoming. By the way, the book back then is attributed to being written by Daniel Defoe, the same man. There's now debate as to whether he actually wrote the book. Daniel Defoe is the same man who's most known for writing Robinson Crusoe. The book comes out, and Rob Roy is becoming a legend during his lifetime. And everyone's reading this book.
Even
including George the First.
So that was true too.
That is true. Rob Roy was about to be transported to Barbados for his punishment, for his crimes, and George First, moved by the book, pardons Rob Roy.
Oh my god.
That's amazing.
So the scene we made fun of, which probably didn't happen, but it is kind of true, where he's just like, this guy's so fucking cool, I got it for him.
Yeah.
So he's imprisoned and freed. He's freed in 1727. So it does take a bit of time. But he died in his house on December 28th, 1734, after illness brought on by old age and a bad winter at the age of 63.
Oh, wow. Old man.
K. Mackley, M.D., who wrote Historical Memoirs of Rob Roy and the Clan MacGregor, said that Rob Roy became a Roman Catholic after he was pardoned, and did this because, and Maclay takes the view that Rob Roy did this out of sorrow for his crimes and the way he lived his life.
Doubtful.
Yeah, highly doubtful that he has sorrow for what he did. But yes, that's the story of Rob Roy. The real story of Rob Roy.
That was actually fascinating, Frankie.
It's interesting how much Disney got right.
Mm-hmm.
Telling this story. It's also interesting what they changed and how a lot of it was an improvement.
Mm-hmm.
You're right, Amanda. He was way better than... It was way better to have the mom be the badass.
Yeah. I mean, there's something about, like, mothers who are badasses, you know? Yeah, like you, the peanut gallery.
I'm quite glad we didn't have... I'm quite glad, Disney didn't include the fact that he was married to his cousin.
Yeah, I'm glad about that too. I think everybody
Glad we
here
didn't.
is condone incest.
I'm not glad we didn't have a bunch of cattle stealing montages.
Yeah, that would have been fun. Why didn't we have a bunch of cattle raids and more escapes? We should have had more escapes. Also, Hannah, we were wrong. There are technically, if we want to be real about it, 6 Georges.
Oh,
were
Okay,
king of
I
England.
didn't think 3 was right. I thought we went past 3, but I
Why are
wasn't
there
sure.
so fucking many Georges?
I will say we have
Not
3
even a
in
good
a.
Three
name.
in a row,
We have
and then they're
we
kind of
have
spread out.
we have 4 in a row.
4 in a row. Okay.
4 in a row. Then we don't have one for a while. So George the Fourth is going to die in, or his reign's going to end in 1830. And George the Fifth doesn't take the throne until 1910. And then George the Sixth was the father of Elizabeth II, the queen who just died.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know the Georgian era and how many there were.
Hannah's familiar with Victorian era and the Tudor era.
Yeah.
Two eras so far away from each other.
I only care about when the women are in charge, really.
Rob Roy is, I don't know. I like the idea of the folk hero Rob Roy fighting for the people of Scotland against,
and also stealing their cows.
Yeah, the cow
and
stealing
also
was
running
really...
a protection racket. But you know,
yeah. Frankie,
apparently,
I honestly did not know protection rackets were going to be a common thing that talked about in this podcast.
I didn't either. Also, I didn't realize that protection rackets back then were a legitimate form of occupation. There's just protection racket, and they're like, yeah, we respect him. He's great at his job. I'm like, all right, I guess.
Sure, if it makes you guys happy, if you want to keep paying that.
5% of the rental price.
That's crazy to me.
So much.
What if somebody charged you 5% of rent just to make sure like your dog was safe, Frankie? Like, I know you'd do it, but you'd be pissed about it.
I'd be so pissed. Like, that'd be a month. Let's figure that out. That would be $100 a month, an extra $100 a month. Not at all. Not at all.
No.
I mean, I would do it because I love my dog, but
yeah. I said
I'm not gonna put him at risk. Yeah, I'm not putting him at risk, but I'd be pissed.
Fuck that.
I wouldn't go, man, look how great of a businessman that guy is.
I'd be like, this fucker, I'm gonna spit in the cookies that I drop off for him for like Christmas or something. I don't know.
I'm giving him that 5% in pennies. So I can't do that anymore. They stopped making pennies.
Just because they stopped making it doesn't mean that you can't use.
Yeah, but eventually I'd run out of pennies. Yeah, I'll do it in nickels.
Maybe dimes, because dimes are the same or smaller than nickels.
Yeah, I would do dimes because they are smaller and it'd be harder to keep track of.
Yeah.
That's
and
true.
every time
That's
he tries to count it, I would just like start saying random numbers. Like he'd be at like 67, I'd be like 89, 90, 22. Like I'd do that.
Or if he's stacking them up into like dollar stacks, you could knock them off like a cat.
Oh, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good idea, Hannah.
We have great ideas.
Yeah. All right. Well, that is the end of Rob Roy and the end of Scottish month, apparently.
Yeah, I did not know we would be having Scottish month. This just
I didn't either.
Coincidentally happened.
It just happened.
If you hadn't had the Rob Roy movie, I wouldn't have done this, obviously, but...
Right.
So, next week...
Where are we going next week?
Is Scooby-Doo, and we will be talking about Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed.
Oh,
we're going to Colesville.
A second live action with Matthew Lillard and Freddie Prinze Jr. and Sarah Michelle Gellar and Linda Cardellini. should have been before Loch Ness Monster, but I forgot.
Frankie messed up.
I messed up.
We got Scotland month.
We got Scotland month, yeah. But yeah, that will be the next episode. Will be Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed. So join us for that next week. We have some fun moments in that movie.
Yeah, one of my favorite movies. And you know what, Frankie? I mentioned this before, and I'm gonna mention it again. Clay Aiken makes an appearance in that song form. He doesn't show up. He's not in the film.
He's not. You know who is in the film? Seth Green.
Seth Green is in the film. So look forward to this.
Ruben Studdard is in the film.
Yeah, not Clay Aiken.
Ruben Studdard. My voice cracked there.
Yeah. He didn't deserve
That's how passionate I am about Ruben Studdard.
He didn't deserve to win. Even I went to Ruben and Clay's thing, and don't get me wrong, Ruben is a fantastic singer. But he even said, he's like, you should have won, Clay.
Alicia Silverstone is in this movie?
Yep.
God, what a cast. What a
fantastic cast.
All right, so we will be talking about Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed next week. Does anyone else have anything they'd like to add?
No, I just think it's really brave of you to come out here and say how cool S. Coops is.
I didn't say how cool he is. I just said he is cool. I didn't give a level to the coolness.
I just think it's very brave of you, Frankie. Don't you agree, Hannah?
I'm a man.
Yes, I do.
I'm a man of my word. I wasn't gonna back down. I made a deal. I'll honor it.
I will say you've never not followed through on a promise.
All right. Well, let's take care of business and wrap this episode up. As we're recording, we are on YouTube and Spotify. If you're listening to us on YouTube, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell for notifications so you know when every episode is uploaded. If you're listening to us on Spotify, remember to leave a rating and a review and follow the show. No matter where you're listening to the show, please share it with someone you think might enjoy what we're doing here, talking about people of history, talking about Disney movies, talking about cryptids, hauntings, Barbie movies, Scooby-Doo, of course. If you think anyone will be interested in the variety of things we talk about, share this show with them. If you would like to send us an email, ask us a question, give us...
Sorry, I thought you had a brain fart for a minute.
No. Well, you can ask us a question, give us ideas for topics of episodes, tell us your thoughts about the show. You can send us an email over to
Nothing to See Here podcast at gmail.com. As always, here is spelled H-E-A-R.
If you would like to see some great artwork done by Amanda, funny memes made by Hannah, see images of the things that we talk about on the show, you can find all of that and more over on our Instagram page, which is
Nothing to See Here pod.
That is all of the business taken care of. So saying goodbye and good night. It's Frankie.
It's Hannah.
I'm gonna make Frankie a shirt that says I love S. Coops. He's super cool.
I won't wear it.
Christmas gift idea.
Christmas gifts. I'll get you one that also says, I'm as cool as Mingyu, or I wish I was as cool as Mingyu.
All right. I would wear that.
You would wear I wish I was as cool as Mingyu?
Yeah, I know I'm not as cool as Mingyu. Everyone should wish they were as cool as Mingyu.
That's fair. That's very fair.
All right. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.